What's up, babes? Making a video here. Today's video is about...
Is this a sport? Am I doing a sport right now?
Is Fortnite a sport? And let me just get this right off the bat. I have no say. But if I did have say, here's exactly what I would say. Frick no, it's not a sport, you maniac. Crazy psycho weirdos. It's not a frickin' sport. And it shouldn't be an argument, but unfortunately it's an argument. Everything these days is an argument. It's debatable. I don't care what it is, it's debatable. Check this out.
They're the two best teams in the world, going head-to-head for $1 million cash.
League of Legends World Championship Final.
$1 million.
If these guys aren't exactly the kinds of athletes you'd pay good money to see, well, you probably wouldn't have been able to get a ticket anyway. There isn't an empty seat in the house.
And STT wipes up for the ace, the quadra for Piglet.
These guys have taken journeys in their life to become pro athletes for something that's not really a traditionally accepted
why do you
career
gotta
path.
say
Yet
athlete?
these guys are doing it and they're living it, and so to get that kind of validation and confirmation that this is the real deal has been exciting for our fans.
Okay, I was astounded some of that. Why do you gotta say athlete? Why can't you just say gamer? That's all you are. For some reason, there are millions of different definitions of sport. But every single definition I've ever heard of what classifies a sport, what makes a sport, has had physical prowess, physical activity. Let's just Google sport really quick. Sport, this comes straight from Google. An activity involving physical exertion and skill in which an individual or team competes against another or others for entertainment. If you're gonna call this physical exertion or physical activity right here, that makes everything a sport. Every mellow freaking thing is a sport.
Let's just go do some sports. Is this a sport? 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 Am I doing a sport right now?
It's even called esports. They literally named it esports. That's what they call video game competition. Whether people like me like it or not, Fortnite is a sport. I don't know who named them sports, and I don't know what definition of sport they used. Even the Google one, even the Google definition we found said physical exertion. Okay, we don't agree on our definition of sport. Okay, that's fine. I'll get used to it. I'll get over it, and I'll call your little video game events sports. Fine, you win. But why do we gotta refer to these gamers as athletes? Dog, I am not about to call this group of nerds athletes. Let's just Google athletic real quick. This is straight off of Google. Athletic. Physically strong, fit, and active. Athletic means physically strong, fit, and active. Ninja is the biggest wuss. I don't care. Ninja, you might beat me in a game of Fortnite. I will beat you at literally anything else. You name it. I'll beat you at everything. Well, give me a mellow frickin' break. Woo! I don't care how much G Fuel you drink, Ninja. I'll beat you at everything. Folks, to get to the highest level in esports, to be a pro, to play in those $1 million esports tournaments, you have to spend a ridiculous amount of time of just sitting on your butt. Yeah, you're mentally engaged, and yeah, you get hand cramps, but literally, I heard Ninja say in an interview that he plays video games close to 10 hours a day. You have to commit. You have to sit on your butt for hours, 10 to 12 hours a day, staring into a screen. Tell me how that's physically active at all. You people have the wrong idea of what a physical, like a fit life looks like, because it's not getting hand cramps all day and having your eyes hurt. So Ninja, you hit me up with any real sport, and I guarantee you that 12 hours a day on your butt will harm you, and I'll beat you at everything. I'm just calling out Ninja. I know he's not gonna see this, but I just think it's quite crazy that someone was able to get away with calling it sports and also calling these boys athletes that just sit around all day and play video games.
Here's a question. Are video games a sport?
Frick, I guess so. I guess they are.
I'd like to say a sport is something in which skill separates you from everybody else.
I'd like to give my own personal definition of sport.
Competitive sports.
We asked these guys because they get paid to play them.
My name is Bryce Bates, and I'm a professional StarCraft 2 player.
Alright, there's where you went wrong. We're gonna ask these guys for their personal definition of sport. We don't care what the actual definition is. We'll just ask the athletes themselves.
Where they spend 12 hours a day pounding keyboards.
With
12
respect,
hours a
I
day.
think the question, is this a sport or not, is
Sitting on your
the
butt.
stupidest question in the context of this industry, because I think arguing about whether something is a sport or not ultimately comes down to whether you think it's cool and whether you think it belongs in the cool kids club.
Alex Garfield.
False. Not saying you must be cool to play real sports or you must be a loser to play video games. I didn't say either of those things. I'm looking at the literal definition of sport. Sitting on your butt for 12 hours a freaking day. You don't know the actual definition of sport, boss. Look it the frick up.
Is the chief executive officer of Evil Geniuses, the team that calls the lair home.
They're a legitimate competitive activity. I don't really care whether someone, validates it as a sport or not. I think the culture itself validates itself.
It's legitimate. It's legitimately competitive. No one's arguing that. These video games are competitive. Why would sports just mean competitive only? Why would we make two words? If sport and competitive meant the same thing, why would we have two words? Competitive! Sport is its own thing, dog. And there's a lot more to it than just competitive culture. The culture validates itself.
And that validation can come with big money.
Oh, nice. The winners of the International for Dota 2 just split a $1.4 million prize pool. We're the Michael Jordans of the video games that we play, and it really just comes down to day in, day out, we're sitting here playing this game 12 hours a day, 7 days a week on end, and I'm just gonna put more time into it. And
you're all the Michael Jordans of your game? All of you are Michael Jordans? Got a little heated, Video games are called sports now. Nothing I can do. I can't get anyone to use an actual definition of sport because everyone just makes up their own definition of sport.
With respect, I think the question, is this a sport or not, is just the stupidest question in the context of this industry, because I think arguing about whether something is a sport or not ultimately comes down to whether you think it's cool and whether you think it belongs in the cool kids club.
It's not a stupid question, first of all, because there is a real definition of sport. Every definition of sport has physical activity and prowess, and I just don't agree with you that this is being physically active or being athletic. It doesn't mean you're not cool. It doesn't even mean you're not an athlete. This is just simply not athletic. Some of these esports guys might be really athletic. They might be able to bench press 450 pounds. I don't know. Some of them are probably athletic. All I'm saying is, I think when you're doing this, you're not partaking in a sport and you're not being physically active or an athlete. That's just my opinion, I guess. You guys know me, man. You guys know me. I'm not gonna tell you what to do. I never tell you what to do. Just make sure you go down, hit subscribe, and hit the like button. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.